Good morning and welcome to America's Home Cooking. I have made a Bisquick recipe, which I gave you the original recipe, but you could make it, which is 1 cup of all-purpose flour to 1½ teaspoons of baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon salt, and a tablespoon of oil. You could use butter or shortening, but I use oil because it blends better. Now, I want to sit there, and we made a light whole wheat, and we made the regular Bisquick, and it came out, and then we tried 100% whole wheat, but you would have to change the liquid because it was a little on the heavy side, so I don't think a lot of people would like it. But if you work with it and add more liquid, because the bran is dry, because if you have bran muffins, you know how those muffins are a little bit dry, they absorb that fluid, so we'd have to add more milk if we're going to make the whole wheat, 100% whole wheat Bisquick mix. Now I want to try, and I had promised you we're going to try to make one with a higher protein. Now I'm going to use sorghum flour. Now it reads, reading on the back of it, I should put my glasses on, but it reads 1/4 of a cup of this is 35, I think 35. Like I said, yeah, 35 grams. And when you say grams, you're talking protein. So I am going to make 3 cups of Bisquick, but I am going to use 1/2 cup in place of 1/2 cup of the all-purpose with this. Now this will bring it more as a whole grain Bisquick. So we'll be getting a lot of other things, but we'll be getting a high protein one. And I think that would be interesting to see what we can get. As you can see, I'm always playing around with grains. So I'm going to put 2½ cups of all-purpose flour in a food processor. If you don't have a food processor, you're going to really have to stir this up thoroughly by hand, or sift it a lot of times. All right, that's 1 cup. I don't have enough flour here to do another. So open my jar, fill it up, and we'll continue. So we got 1 cup in there. One and a half. 2. 2½. And now we're going to put that other ½ cup in. And tomorrow morning, I will take this out and see, and try to make biscuits and see how they come out, and we'll see if it works. Sometimes I like to take you in the kitchen when I'm experimenting with something so you can see what we go through trying to say, would this work or will that work? We're not sure if we pull with this. So this way, like I did a recipe, I can't believe it. I made liver. I used beef liver. I know you guys don't like liver. A lot of you, but I made beef liver, but I put it in a wine and tomato sauce. It was delicious. My sons asked for seconds. Does that tell you? When they start asking for seconds, you know you're really hitting it good. They said that was delicious. The wine and the tomatoes made a red sauce. I used white wine. I should have used red. They always say use red, but I didn't. I said, you know what? I got my white wine open. What the heck? Just throw it in and let's see what I come up with. And I came out with something nice, and I'm going to show you how to do that one too. So I've got 2 new liver recipes that came out of my head experimenting. I was going to show you. I said, no, I don't think because this might be a real big flop. We might have to order hamburgers, which I don't like. Okay. So we're adding 1/2 cup of this. Now it's a tan colored flour. All right. So, but that doesn't matter. We're going to blend all this up. Now remember, 1/4 cup, and I put 1/2 cup. And that reads right here, 1/4 cup, 35 grams. I just added 70 because I added a half a cup. Not counting the few grams that you get with the white all-purpose flour. I mean, we can try with other flours too and see how it comes out. I mean, we can experiment and go in many different directions. Now, did I get my measuring spoons? No, I did not. Well, this is where you better know your math or you're just going to be in trouble just all the way around, you know? I'm in math every day so much. All right, they want 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder, so that we're going to have to increase it by 3. So we need at least 1 tablespoon. Okay. And now we need 1.5 teaspoons. And 1.5 teaspoons equals half a tablespoon. Where did I put it? Okay. Now we need 1/4 teaspoon salt times 3 is 3/4 salt. Okay, let's see, what do I have here? And I'm going to use my salt mixture on this. Okay, now I'll read the instructions to make this batch just like this. Okay, because I already read the single, just making 1 cup at a time. Now, to make 3 cups of this, you'll need 3 cups of all-purpose flour. You will need 1 tablespoon plus 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. You'll need 3/4 salt. And we're going to put the oil in it after we blend this up. Okay, I got to get a few things back here. Now, because I tripled this recipe, everything I'm doing is being tripled. But if you want me to read you just the regular ratio, you can. I will do it again. All right, so if you want to make just 1 cup of Bisquick, I've already read it when I increased it, but if you just want to make 1 cup, you only need 1 cup of all-purpose flour, 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon salt, and only 1 tablespoon of oil. Now, the oil I'm going to use today, now believe you me, I have used my all-blend, I have used corn, I have used olive oil, I've used peanut butter, peanut oil, I have used safflower oil, and today I'm going to use sunflower oil. So whichever oil you want to use is going to affect the flavor of your biscuits or whatever you make with Bisquick. Now we have to blend all this up first. So you've got to make sure this is thoroughly mixed or you're going to make a mess. If you don't have a food processor, you'll probably have to sift it and mix it thoroughly. Now this Bisquick's going to have like a darker tan color because of sorghum that we put in here. But we're going to see if we can make a Bisquick with more protein. That's the whole trick of this one. Okay, now we need 3 tablespoons of oil for this recipe that I'm making. We're multiplying, we're timesing the recipe by 3. Now, each cup needs 1 tablespoon of oil, but you can't dump it all in at once. What you've got to do is drizzle it in slowly so it can slowly blend into your flour. so flour mixture. If you pour it in too quickly, you'll have a lump, and then you won't get the mixture. This is how they make that Bisquick. Now, I have thought about trying to make the original recipe and melting butter and pouring it into the Bisquick. But what I like to show you is different ways that you can do it and enhance your food and make it more nutritious. Do mark your jars. This has to stay in the refrigerator because you are adding oil, and these don't have preservatives in them. There are other flours that have a higher protein, I know, but I figured I'd use this one today. That's it. That wasn't hard, was it? I'm going to need a funnel. You'll need a quart jar. Now I'm going to tilt you down so you can see the texture of this. Okay, this isn't hot anymore, so I'll move this. Here is the texture of it. Let me see if I can turn you down a little more so you can see. It's just like a tan. It's not white like it would be if you just used all-purpose flour. You can feel it. It feels just like Bisquick that you would buy in a jar. I mean, in a box. I think it comes in a box, doesn't it? See, I don't buy it. I make it. Because I have a recipe book that says Bisquick recipes. Believe you me, everything they were making in it. And I have used some of those recipes. That's it, just wasted, Sandra. But you see, it's the same texture that you would get in a box. But this one's going to be a higher protein, much higher. So when you eat the biscuit, well, it seems I'm not going to have enough room in this. That's how I try to get it packed in. Don't worry, I do all sorts of tricks in the kitchen. Now you're going to see me do something you wouldn't expect me to do. What do you think I'm going to do with this last little bit? I'm going to mark this one as a high protein biscuit. I have a Bisquick light wheat, right? And I have it right here. So it's all Bisquick, just mixed flours, you know, why not? Instead of wasting it, just dump it in there. See? I'm not going to waste any of it. That's what I'm going to do. Now I'm going to get a marker and mark this one as a high protein Bisquick mix. So if you make Bisquick biscuits, you'll actually have that protein in your biscuits as well as whatever else you serve it with. You account for it. That's why I'm always marking everything down. Markers are excellent for the lids, and if you don't like it and you're not going to make it again, you can always take an SOS with some comment and just scrub off what you write there, and then you can reuse the lid if it's not going to be canned. So we're going to try tomorrow morning. We are going to try this high protein, and I will let you know how good or how bad, or is it a failure. Like I said, I do make my mistakes. I killed my old sourdough wheat culture. I mean, you know, we do make mistakes in the kitchen, but I want you to see how we play with things in the kitchen, trying to come up with new ideas. How can we make it more nutritious? How can we make it better? How can we give it more flavor? Can we mix these seasonings, so they say for one thing, can we put it with something else and see how it comes? This is what goes on in the kitchen a lot of the times. And this is where we get these creative juices, you know, as my girlfriend says, you've got creative juices going on up there. Ding, 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 ding. Anyway, listen, you take care and have a great day. Bye-bye.